One of a Kind Fringe Festival is back again, but this time in April. And I've got one of the featured playwrights of the 45 more plays that are going on. It's Gracie Rittenberg with A Little Less Than Kind.
So my play, A Little Less Than Kind, is a modern genderbend adaptation of Hamlet. And I actually star in it as well. And it's a modern adaptation that's set in like Silicon Valley, and the two families are families that own tech companies in Silicon Valley. And Hannah is like 21, and she's like sarcastic, and she's bisexual, and so Ophelia remains a woman. But the gender bent is that her mom dies, and then her aunt remarries with her father and takes over their company. The idea came to me because I was thinking, I was literally at a box office job, like something menial, many years ago, and I was thinking, God, would Hamlet be like a different if it was a mother and a daughter? The idea kicked around in my head for a long time, actually, and it wasn't until April and March of 2020, and the world shut down, and I had nothing to do. And so I started developing the play like 4 years ago, and I have a theater company called Bluebird Theater Company with my friends, and we have been working on it together for a long time, and we did a couple stage readings of it. And then in September, I saw, oh, the Fringe Festival's taking applications. All right, might as well submit. Click submit as soon as the application opens, and then I got in.
It sounds like the Fringe is a little more than kind to you. And I hope this launches your career to bigger and better things. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
And here we are with Erziv, who is responsible for bringing the Fringe back. Unfortunately for me, it's in April, but it's fortunate for all of you. And there's like more than 45 plays, and he's going to talk about some of them. And then at the end, I'm going to rattle them all off. So tell us why you brought the Fringe back, which plays you're looking forward to, which ones you want to focus. Just talk.
So we've been doing a Fringe festival for over 15 years on the Lower East Side, calling it the Frigid New York. And we figured we're still doing ours, and New York City should have a festival, an active festival that is called the Fringe Festival. So we just picked up the name, dusted it off, and we keep doing what we've been doing for over 15 years already.
How did you send it out and get the word out that, the Frigid is now the Fringe? I didn't realize that because I love the Frigid.
Right. So we've always called it the Frigid New York, a Fringe festival. Last year, we actually started actively calling it a Fringe festival in the title. And then this year we officially changed it because we should have a Fringe here. In terms of how we pick the shows, this is a Canadian style festival. So we pick shows out of a hat, and by first come, first serve. And we like that very much. It always introduces us. Like this year, there are so many artists in the festival that I've never, ever met before. And it's a really nice way for us to meet new people and new artists.
So how did these people find out about it? Because like I say, it's all over the country.
I think there's a couple from Canada. I think there's usually almost always in our festival, there's somebody from London. Sometimes there's people from Australia. It's traditionally the English-speaking world, but they do come from all over.
But how do they find out to apply in the first place?
So there's a large Fringe circuit all over the world. It goes all the time. In our winter, it's in Australia because that's their summer. And when our Frigid Festival was in February, we lost a lot of artists every year. The North American circuit starts generally around May with Orlando and Tampa and then Montreal, and then the Canadians continue until September. And we decided to put ourselves in between the Australians in the winter and the North Americans in the summer, and happen in the spring.
So what are some of the ones you're looking forward to seeing?
Brokeneck Girls is something that I've seen in single songs over the course of years, and now it's a full-on musical. I'm looking forward to that one. Lucine, I'm looking forward to that one. That's going to be a musical. Also, at the Wild Project, Conversations with My Divorce Attorney is what I'm looking forward to. That's old friends. They did a show in our first Frigid ever in 2007 or 8, and now they're back there. Korean Catharsis, it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. There's a lot of shows that look like they're going to be a lot of fun. And traditionally, I see all of them. In all the festivals up till now, I've managed to see all 30 shows. But this year we have 47, and I'm going to find out if it's physically possible to see 47 in 2.5 weeks.
And it's why can't you have it go longer?
It's a lot of work. By the time this festival is over, we are ready for a break. I don't think we can handle another week of this.
So it's at Under St. Mark's, the Wild Project,
the 14th Street Y. So those 3 are traditional venues. Each one has 15 shows, and each show has 4 to 6 performances. Then there's 2 more venues. Bring your own venues. We're experimenting with that this year. These are shows that are not in traditional theaters. So each one of these venues, there's one in Chelsea. It's a recording studio, generally like a video recording studio, that they're like turning into something that looks more like a cabaret space. It's should be really cool video work for that one, the Moth Project. And then there is Clown Bar 2 at Parkside Lounge. And that's a show that is set at a bar, so it's going to be happening at a bar. Streamed. Almost all the shows are being streamed, so it's possible to see the shows from wherever you are. They're streaming in real time, so you'll be there with the audience in the house. You'll hear them laugh and cry and clap. It's great. And ticket sales are going incredibly well right now. As of yesterday morning, we've sold 1,113% of the number of tickets we had sold at that point last year. So we're expecting a wild ride this year.
Will there be clowns involved?
There will be clowns, red noses all over the place.
Some people are terrified of clowns, so we always have to put a trigger warning about clowns.
Well, it's in the title in this one.
I know. I couldn't help teasing about that one. And now I'm going to rattle off every single one of the plays coming up, but you will find all the information on our Facebook page with all the proper information of where, when, how, all that, because I really want you guys to go to the Fringe. So here goes. Deep breath. The scientist who fought addiction then faced it at home. The princess strikes back, woman's search for the space cowboy of her dreams. Joyride, Death of a Dandelion, Dad Girl, Sonnets from a Sin Eater, Emil Almuck, Lost NPR Host, Vegan Trans Dad, Please Let Me Save You, Fanatical Optimism, A Series of Wildfires, The Importance of Being Anxious, Misadventure, Walt Kelly's Song of the Pogo, Miami Madness, The House of Clytemnestra, The Leading Lady Club, a feminist but still likable sketch show, Delirantes, Michael John Szewski's Love Fool, A Little Bit Pregnant, Schmaltz, Too Much of a Good Thing, Faster, On Cats and Dogs and Other Family Revelations, Yoga for Billionaires, Do You Want to Be Enlightened or Just Filthy Rich? Conversations with My Divorce Attorney, Lolo's Boyfriend Show, In Harmony, Transmasculine Cabaret starring Vulva Vavoom. Also, is she doing that or Stroke of Genius, Pantomime, Masturbation throughout? Because I got 2 emails about that one. And then Mulana Now. And also Solitary, The Climate Fables, How I Died a Superhero, No Bones About It, No Fucks Given, Korean Catharsis, The Fountain, A Date with My Wild, A Drag is Born, Flossy Follies, Blocks of Sensation, Don't Stop Believing.
Live the Parody musical is a play on Six the Musical, but with the ex-wives of former President Trump instead of King Henry. The title hints at the show's content, so what you see is exactly what you get. It's a cute and engaging romp through the perspectives of Ivana, Marla, Melania, Stormy Daniels, and Ivanka. The true stars of the show are its performers. The cast, and I'm sorry if I get your names wrong, include Anya Nasia, Gabriela Joy Rodriguez, Jamie Lynn Beatty, Gabby Garcia, Hannah Bonnet, and the scene-stealing Jasmine Rice La Beja. Their impressive talent and vocal control really captivate the audience and provide engagement that is truly unmatched. It's mindless entertainment, but beware, it does not shy away from the fact that these women have all been screwed by Trump. If you're looking for a complete escape from political drama, this may not be your pick, but it is perfect for those who are looking to enjoy a quick and entertaining show, catering to fans of both political satire and musical theater. The music is also a highlight. It's catchy and fun, being clever parodies of Of course, tunes from the musical Six, and also other show tunes, including Chicago. I give it a happy face minus.
J.T. Rogers' Corruption is based on Tom Watson and Martin Hickman's book, Dial M for Murdoch News Corporation and the Corruption of Britain when One Newspaper Ruled Britannia back in 2010-11. Rebecca Brooks is editor-in-chief of Murdoch's paper that holds the widest circulation. How she manages it is by hook or by crook, and mostly crook. She has Rupert Murdoch's full backing, unlike what he gives his son James, who may have taken over for his dad, but his dad still takes over James. Rebecca uses nefarious measures like phone hacking to spy on people for blackmail or manipulate a story how she sees fit. An idealistic group of reporters try to take down this dangerous dragon. They have to resort to enlisting a less than savory character. Can it be done? There is a real David and Goliath story. It's very exciting and suspenseful watching the wheels of justice in motion against the heinous lies and practices of uncontrollable power. This gets a happy face plus.
Ibsen's Ghosts by Charles Busch, written and performed. And he says it's an irresponsible biographical fantasy. That's exactly what it is. It's directed by his director who always worked with him, Carl Andrus. Scenic design is by Shoko Kambara, costumes Gregory Gale, and lighting Ken Billington. Charles Busch, a legend and an icon for decades for his magical acting and for his brilliant scripts, which are the most hilarious and entertaining, and Ibsen's Ghost is no exception. It is actually an irresponsible biographical fantasy. Charles plays Ibsen's widow, Susanna Ibsen, and she is hell-bent to preserve her late husband's legacy. She wants to have her and husband's letters published, but the publisher, George Elstead, brilliantly played by Christopher Bole, refuses because he finds the letters boring. That statement in itself is hilarious. Then appears an old lover of Ibsen, Hannah Solberg, incredibly powerful Jennifer Van Dyck, who has a diary which can destroy Ibsen's good name, and Hannah is doing her utmost to get it published, and Susanna would never allow it. So she finds a way to destroy it. Charles plays Susanna with such glee, which creates constant bursts of laughter from the full house. Susanna Ibsen also has a maid, and you have to go see her to believe how amazing she is. Played with such ability, a character who's half bent with extreme spinal malfunction by Jen Cody, who's a scene stealer to say the least. The whole show is filled with comic effects. One starts to doubt if Ibsen was such a serious writer whose muse was Susanna, who in this show is a hilarious star of comedy. Setting in this play is Oslo, Norway, June 1906, and the set and the lighting designers have done justice to that period with the creation of gloomy and fog-like atmosphere, and the costumes by Gregory Gale are very appropriate for that period. And Charles steals every scene in Susanna's elegant gowns. He knows how to make a grand entrance. After all, he's the one and only Charles Busch who knows his craft very well. Happy face.
Keene Company and Working Theatre are presenting at Theatre Row Fish, written by Kia Cawthon and directed by Adrienne D. Williams. In Fish, 18-year-old Letitia, nicknamed Tree, is a senior in an ordinary, underfunded, overburdened public school, while some of her friends won the lottery to go to the fabulous charter school, Peak and Pinnacle Academy, on the 6th floor, the penthouse of the same building. Tree's mother is in prison for dealing drugs, and Tree must take care of her energetic, clown-like younger brother, Ray, who is 11 and asthmatic. In his school, the school nurse is only there 2 days a week. This does not bode well for children with serious chronic conditions. Tree is reluctant to warm up to her new English teacher, Jasmine Harris. After all, so many teachers quit. But it becomes clear that Miss Harris truly wants her students to succeed and believes in their abilities. But she is hampered by the school structure and its emphasis on preparation for standard testing. Will Tree and her friends be able to graduate with a diploma? The play is decidedly naturalistic, with the exception of a wonderful dream sequence. Before the play started, there was an announcement that it was a musical. It decidedly is not, but it is a great new drama. It has an extremely good cast, but kudos must go to Torrey Alexander as Tree and Rachel Leslie as Jasmine Harris, who created extremely believable, complex characters. The situation is grim, but there are some glimmers of hope that teaching and learning can take place. I give this a happy face.
John Patrick Shanley's Brooklyn Laundry is about connecting with people before it's too late. Fran brings in her lightly filled laundry bag, which depresses her. She meets Owen, the owner of the laundromat. He's an optimistic, half-full laundry bag, while gloomy Fran is half empty. She's especially feeling empty after her boyfriend left her. Surprisingly, Owen asks gloomy Fran out. Meanwhile, Fran has one sister, Susie, who's bossy and always responsible, and Trish, who's always been flighty, is dying of cancer with 2 kids and an ex-druggy husband. Fran is an indecisive mess. Should she choose dealing with her family drama or continue her romance with Owen? Which wins out and makes her lose? This was heart-wrenchingly acted, and yet there was plenty of humor. I really cared for this people, and I'm giving this a happy face plus.
The play King is a part of the Origin First Irish Theatre Festival, and it is by Fishamble Company from Ireland. It is written and performed by Pat Kinneman, directed by Jim Culleton. The lighting design, which is absolutely fantastic, is by Piers McGrath, and the composer of the tango sound and sound engineer is Dennis Clohessy. The play's the character's name is Luther, and he tells us that his grandmother named him Luther after Martin Luther King, because she thinks Martin Luther King and James Connolly, who had a very big part in the freedom of Ireland, are the only heroes in the world. And she tells his young grandson that no, we are free. Now Ireland is free. He, at this point of the play, lives in Cork, Ireland, and he lives alone. And he's preparing for some big night. He irons his clothes, he mops the floors, he dances the tango. When the play begins, it's a fantastic piece with a wonderful, wonderful lighting design in shadowy, dark lights, red and blue. And then he's very bitter about the history of Ireland and occupation and maltreatment by British. He talks about his grandmother, like I just mentioned. He said the pain and the oppression of Irish and Black people is the same. But no, we are free, he mentions. But actually, the guy is very bitter. He doesn't feel he's free because he has been very maltreated, stepped on by everybody. There's a lot of sense of loss in this play. Parents lost, parents' lives lost. It's a very stream of consciousness kind of play because the thoughts are not in relationship with each other. They jump from here to there. But at the same time, it has incredible humor. Irish audience was laughing nonstop. Sometimes I didn't understand their accent. And it is a wonderful actor, which I have never seen him before. It is totally amazing. And then at the end, there's a little surprise, which is kind of a happy surprise, which I don't want to reveal. So I would give a happy face. Everybody should go see this play. It's a wonderful actor, beautifully directed, and beautiful design, light design and everything. And the Fishamble Company always does very good work. So happy face for this.
Hi, my name is Rori Nogee, and I wrote a play called Aftershocks that was originally in the New York Winterfest in 2019, but this is its first major production in New York City. And it is about the lingering effects of sexual trauma in childhood, which sounds really intense. And some of it is, but it's also hilarious because life is messy and the characters are very, very human. Some of it's hard to watch, some of it is funny, but it is about what happens when you take those past traumas and you bring them into your present relationships. So you have a female who, because of her trauma, is only promiscuous, has only known those sorts of relationships, and she falls for a man who cannot do any kind of intimacy. He cannot be touched. And so they are on complete opposite spectrums, and they fall in love, and they're trying to connect and make things work and find some kind of middle ground. But it's really about not pushing other people out of their boundaries and out of their comfort zones, because bad things can happen if you don't listen to the warning signs, if you don't try to help yourself. So it's a psychological drama and a bit of a cautionary tale. We're playing at Theater for the New City from, we opened on March 28th and we're playing until April 14th, Thursdays through Sundays. It is directed by the fabulous Lissa Moira, who really delved deep into the script and really got in there with these characters. But we hired some very smart actors who make really great choices as well, especially the leading actor, Cameron Cave, who came to us very late in the project because we lost one of our actors. So he learned the entire show in 2 weeks, and it is a heavy role. And so we are indebted to Cameron Cave. I wrote the play, but I am also in the play as Angie. So I play opposite Cameron. And yeah, we hope that people will come away feeling a lot of things, talking about different dynamics of relationships. One of the reviews from an audience member said, "You will cry, cringe, and laugh in no predictable order." So I think that that's about what you'll get out of Aftershocks, is just a full spectrum of very real, very human emotions.
Hi there, my name's Tim Mulligan, and I am the playwright of a new play that's opening up in New York this week on April 5th called Witchland, and it is running at the Chain Theater off-Broadway from April 5th through the 14th, and it's being put on by the Manhattan Repertory Theater, directed by Ken Wolfe. Witchland is a scary play, which is my goal, is to scare people in the theater, but also provide a lot of laughs, kind of nervous laughter, and slightly immersive. So it's based on my life. My partner and I have been together 20 years, and we're raising our daughter Katie. And it tells a story of a family who moved to my real hometown, which is in Eastern Washington, and it's a town that's been plagued by illness and mystery for many, many years, since it's the home of the Hanford nuclear reactor, which produced a lot of plutonium and nuclear energy for atomic bombs that were used in World War II. And over the years, many people have been sick from the nuclear kind of radiation there. And there's, tanks of radiation that are still there, of nuclear waste that they're not quite sure what to do with. And it's a big issue. So my tale is a scary, funny tale about a couple and their daughter who moved to this town, and things go a little chaotic for them, and they start falling apart. So it's a family like in peril, sickness, alcoholism, craziness, and you're not sure if it's because of the environment and the nuclear, kind of releases that are happening, or is it because there's a lady across the street who seems to be a witch, and you're not sure if she's if she's cursing these people. She has her own connection to the Hanford reactor, or you're not sure if it's because of the fumes in the toxic radiation. So it's a fun play. It's been making the rounds through California. It just played for a month in Palm Springs. It played for a month in San Diego. It has an accompanying graphic novel that just came out last month, and it's just a really different, immersive play that I want adults to go to the theater, and just like kids would go to a haunted house back in the day, I want adults to go to the theater nervously excited and not sure what's around them, and have fun and learn about this place and be scared and laugh and just have a really, different experience in the theater than they've probably had before. So it's called Witchland, and it runs for 10 days at the Chain Theater.
This is Sasha Clarke's review from the New Victory, which is a children's theater. And also, just a warning, I'm giving away the whole plot so you can know whether your child can enjoy this or not. So, spoiler alert. This is a New York City premiere of Aanika's Elephants, written by Ani Evans, who has written for Sesame Street. Aanika's Elephants is an engaging and very compact, just over an hour show that introduces the audience to a number of facts about elephants that you may or may not already know, and goes on a journey remembering past events. In the beginning, we meet Aanika, who is the narrator, and indeed the only human on stage. She is a young girl living in Kenya. Her father works at the elephant sanctuary, and she helps out after school and on weekends, so she knows a lot about elephants, and she shares that knowledge with the audience. We are told of the dangers of poachers, and soon a baby elephant injured by poachers is brought to the reserve. This is Little, who Aanika vows to nurse back to health. She does so, and they form quite a close-knit bond. We meet a host of other characters, Aanika's father, Mrs. Mutembi, who is involved in the sanctuary and is very fond of Aanika and her father, the uncle, and various other elephants. The puppets are not, for the most part, fully formed, more like suggestions. The elephants are largely heads and ears and trunks. Papa is just a hat and scarf. This deals with death head on. It is just not something suggested or hinted at, as in Charlotte's Web, so it might not be suitable for the youngest audience members. Be sure to enjoy this elephant feast before they close next Sunday. Happy Face Plus. And now for our theater listings. A Hotsy Totsy burlesque tribute to the Muppet Show is at the Slipper Room Thursday, April 11th at 7 o'clock. Theodora Skipitares has her brilliant puppet show going at La Mama till April 21st called Four Lives. And Mitch Album's Tuesdays with Morrie has lent Carry You in it till April 20th. Songs from Pippin with Danny Burstein is going on April 8th at 6 and 8 p.m. at Symphony Space. Dead Outlaw is at Audible at Minetta Lane, and that's going to end April 14th. And always check out 54 Below and 92 NY, as they always have such interesting programming. And Origin's First Irish is going on right now, only till April 28th, and there's many plays and venues, as Bina mentioned with King. Honor, starring Lily Taylor and directed by Jeff Sobel, is at the Skirball Center Monday, April 8th at 7:30, and Travels is at Ars Nova until April 20th. And speaking of which, our next show is April 20th. And happy Easter, Passover, Ramadan, whatever else, taxes, whatever's going on in April.